Welcome back to episode 6 in the Director of Football Challenge here in Kolding IF, where we are halfway through our second season. But we do, of course, have those 4 matches in the preliminary phase before we know our fate in terms of which group we are going to be in for the last 10 games in the season. We also have a couple of friendlies to play. So yeah, let's get there. Let's get there. Okay, so we didn't get very far before I was hit with a curveball. One day, actually, only one day later, Odd in Norway came in for Ari Leifsson, and he definitely wanted to talk to them, so I was like, okay, let's see what we can get out of them. 250k, potentially, 130k directly, but with the bonuses. So he might be leaving us. I don't even know when he's leaving us. That's the next problem. I don't really know when this. It doesn't say anywhere when this would go through. There's a transfer date here, but it's immediate. So it just, yeah, that probably means it will go through this winter, and that does mean if he's leaving us, we do need something else. And unfortunately for us, the transfer deadline day is already done, so the only thing we can actually get is youngsters, like under the age of 21, because they don't need to be registered anyway. So yeah, that is a very big curveball, but I'll take the 250k. There was also a couple of other reasons I wanted to get rid of him. I mean, I didn't really want to get rid of him, but he was kind of upset about a couple of things, and I guess this is a good way to get rid of him, getting money out of it, so we'll see what happens. Well, there it is, and I just checked up on the Norwegian league, and it does seem like their window is still open, so I think it's gonna go through right away. I can't, again, it should probably just tell it right here, but it's always been something that I'm a little bit annoyed about, that you can't really tell if it's going through now or in the summer. You have to actually go in and check out the other leagues' rules, that is. But yeah, I think it will go through right away. But let's see if I'm right. Let's just continue one more day here. And yeah, he is signed. So we sold him, and we are definitely gonna be looking for another central defender, and it needs to be a youngster. It has to be a youngster. Oh no, I am wrong. It is actually, we can register all the way up to March the 7th here, but we cannot make any transfers. But non-contracted we can take, so not only youngsters but also non-contracted. Well, that is very important, because I don't think we would be able to find any youngsters that was also non-contracted that would be worth it anyway. Oh man, things are getting a lot worse now. Yeah, NJ is out with a 3-month treatment of, I don't know, hamstring? Oh boy, yeah. We might have a problem for the rest of the season here, because I don't think we can go out and get 2 players, and I think the central defender is probably more important. So I just got 3 guys in on trial that we had on our shortlist, but I didn't really know a lot about them anymore, so oh yeah, this could go really bad, couldn't it? Finally, some good news. We do have a replacement center back here. He is called Adi Tasik, I think it is. And yeah, he is coming in on 875 wages, which I think is actually fairly low for the quality he will bring. He's going to be on a fringe playing time, which is also interesting. And I actually decided to give him a year's contract because it was fairly low. So we do have him for a year's time, even though he is just a replacement to replace our other player, of course, Ari. What is his name? What is the guy's name? I always forget the let's try to history. Leifsson. Yeah, Leifsson. He is just a replacement for him. But here he is. Not quite as good as yeah, I wouldn't say he's as good. Let's actually compare them. Well, I actually think I did do this before as well. Shouldn't he be, whoops, compare with Ari Leifsson. Yeah, not quite as good. Not quite as good. A little bit better vision, a little bit more speed, but yeah, he's not quite the same player, right? Not quite the same, but I don't think this is by far the best player I could get on a non-contracted situation. So yeah, he's okay. I suppose he's okay for what he is. He doesn't really have anything negative about it. There's nothing negative in here, right? He's just a all-round purpose kind of central defender. So yeah, I think it's just really, really good to have someone who is at least is of some kind of standard to what we can expect from our team right now. So yeah, there we go. We got the replacement done. First game of 4, a must win against number 9 in the league, Hobro. Bosch. That is one nail hammered in. Also worth noting that Monk had a really good game here. Second game, bottom of the league. Yeah, Bosch. There we go. 3 points. Extremely close to qualifying now. And if you take a look over here, above 7 in all average ratings. That is pretty sweet. Third game against 9th place Esbjerg. Bosch, job done. We are qualified with 3 wins in a row. Also really nice to see Ingvarsson doing really well here as the substitute or replacement for Injay. And he was out for the entire first half of the season, I would say. So really good to see him back in there and do a really good job for us. But we did have one more to go before the split. Unfortunately, this one was a loss against B93. Yeah, not great. So that is the preliminary phase done and dusted. We have played 22 games, 37 points with 7 points up to the leaders, Helsingør. Comparing that to last season, we actually had 36 points and 8 points up to the leaders. So it feels like a very similar kind of situation here, to be honest. And I also do believe that we are probably not going to win the league, but maybe we could get at least somewhere close to the promotion. But I guess time will tell if we can manage to get there. We only got 5 points up to Sønderjyske in second place, so it's not out of our reach. A very small update here on some transfer stuff going on, well, or contracts more to say. So we do have a couple that we are already setting for release now. Isuna set for release, we also have Carl set for release, Del Hender set for release, and also Jakob Vetter. They're gonna be gone. Some of the youngsters, I might give them a new contract when we get to that. And also Killerich, maybe, Vettler, maybe. Nothangel and Tadesi don't want new contracts, but I do want to give them one, but we might not give them for next season because they're trying that thing with exploring new options after their contract is running out. So we will see about those two. The first of the 10 games we got, yes, this one against Sønderjyske, who was second in the league, as we remember. So this was already an early decider on our chances on promotion, or at least getting anywhere near promotion. And with that 2-0 result here, a loss, it does look very unlikely we are gonna get anywhere near it this season. And also maybe the worst performance of the season as well here, away from home. Not great. But we do manage to claw 3 points back in the next result here, winning against number 4 in the league, Horsens, but we are still 9 points off second place in the league right now. So yeah, I'm not expecting any... Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen, guys. Intake day is upon us, and I have already gone through all the players and given the contracts that I wanted to give out to those that I deemed worthy. So let's just go through those. There is only 4 of them, so not a whole lot, of course. The first one, Gustav Kasper. Let's take a look at him. He is a fairly decent goalkeeper. I actually didn't compare him with our current goalkeeper, but let's try and do that. Or maybe Snabe, actually. What about Snabe? How much better than Snabe is he? He is in some places better, in other places not. So about the same level. About the same level. Okay, so that's interesting. Same deal as the guys we got in last year is 120 wages, which I'm okay with, because some of them could potentially be worth a little bit, and also just nice to have a couple of players that are actually from our academy. Now, I didn't take the other goalkeeper. He is also a goalkeeper, and he is a little bit worse, and since we also have Snaber, I was thinking, nah, let's not take that guy. Next one is Rygaard. Decent central defender. There is some potential here for sure. The only thing that I'm worried about right now is that he is unambitious. His personality is unambitious. That is probably not going to work out, but in case he does develop a lot, we do want him in here because he could develop a lot. But usually the unambitious seems to need a lot of coaching to make work. We will see how that develops. The good thing about this guy is that we are also giving him only 120 wages. Yeah, I was thinking about something else there. No, actually, it was this guy I was thinking about. So the next one here, Frederik Nielsen. This guy is gonna have a youngster contract, right? 60 pounds. 60 pounds for this guy. Striker, target forward type. I think he could develop quite a bit here. I mean, his mentals are already looking fairly okay. Some of his physicals is okay, and the pace and the acceleration tend to go up quite a bit when they're young. So, you know, there might be a player in him. You never know. Consistency is not there, but it actually that doesn't mean a whole lot when they're this young. But yeah, interesting little player there. And the last one of the bunch was maybe also the best one, Henrik Schöndorf. I'm not too sure what he is, because he's definitely not a winger, not with crossing of 5. I think he's probably gonna be. We're not gonna train him directly. Of course, our coaches are training him and stuff. I'm not involved in the training part of the. Only the staff that is involved in the training, right? So I think they're probably gonna train him as an advanced playmaker, but we don't really play with that. But anyway, he's still good enough to take on and give a contract to, because he could develop to something that is potentially really, really good. So yeah, that's the 4 players we got from the youth intake. Oh, I jumped over a guy. I for some reason I didn't look at this guy, Andreas Munch. Let's take a look at him. So he's a central midfielder, very good passing, teamwork, vision, decision making, determination of 15. I think we're giving him a contract as well. He seems good enough to give a contract to. Yeah, I don't know why I missed him, but we did. So it's going to be 5 players coming in if he does take the contract. Let's just go through this quickly, so you can also see how I'm doing them, but it's not really anything special here. Just lock that in. 120, signing on fee 170. That's a bit annoying. No, thank you. There we go. 70, that's fine. He wants the 170. Now he wants 120 here. You know what? Let's give him that signing on fee. We can pay 170 euro for him. There we go. Should be done. There we go. 5 players in. Daniel Harbo have picked up an injury for 2 to 3 months. That is, yeah, Achilles. He is out for the rest of the season, and unfortunately also Tadesi is out. So that means both of our central midfielders on the right-hand side is out for the rest of the season. That is gonna hurt our chances for sure. Vendsyssel is a team we were a point with. Well, yeah, no longer, as they take our 4th place now with the 2-0 here. Surprise, surprise. Issues in the midfield. Another loss, 1-0 against Helsingør. At home, we looked like the better team, but we did not come away with the points. Here's the thing, Helsingør is in 2nd place, actually was in 1st place for a very long time this season. They are a good team, so yeah, with the problems we have this season, it seems we have a lot of injuries, right? And also a goal. We have a striker that doesn't score any goals. We have an issue over here where we don't have our normal player. We have issues here. We lost our central defender. You know, not that this guy actually did really well so far. So it's not his fault. But yeah, it's starting to look like we are not gonna be anywhere near where we were last season, unfortunately. Another poor result here, unfortunately, and at least in my eyes, because Vidor was below us. They were actually not the number 6. So yeah. But the performance was actually kind of good here, so at least we got that. And yeah, a 1-1 against the bottom is never great to see. From here on out, it's only gonna be cosmetic. A pretty good game, the next one here against AC Horsens. We went up there. Well, they are north of us in terms of location, so that's why I'm saying that. Yeah, a 2-1 victory here, pretty good. Not the best performance in the world, but that's also making this kind of result a little bit better for me, because we didn't really play better than them, but we still managed to get a result, so I'm very happy with that. So a small update from the league here, of course. We have played 6 games now, we got 4 more to go. We are sitting 4th with 44 points. There are 4 points up to Vendsyssel, so I don't even think we're gonna manage to get up there. So if we can manage that 4th place again, that would probably be the goal right now, and just try and keep Horsens and Vidor below us. I did not expect to get anything against number 1 in the league, Sønderjyske here, but for some reason the Indian believes we deserve to beat them 3-1 yet again. Yes, that is the 3rd time this season we beat the hardest opponent 3-1. What a strange world this is. Vendsyssel at home. Yeah, a 1-0 loss. I think what we can take away from this is that our striker has been poor, especially Carl. He hasn't been good enough. We are creating enough chances to kind of get there. 1.71 here, and that's even with a penalty that he didn't score. Yeah, I think one of the major issues this season was the striker area. In Helsingør, we managed to get a decent result in 2-2, so a draw. Not complaining about that one, to be honest. Last match of the season against Hvidovre. Yeah, it's a rather disappointing result, 1-0. We actually did have something to play for here, as we could have secured a 4th spot by winning it directly. Thankfully, Horsens did not manage to win their game either, so yeah, they got a draw, which means we do take the 4th place yet again this season. And to my surprise, it is even 1 more point compared to last season. 47 last season, 48 this season. So maybe I was a little bit too harsh in my assessment of how things were going, to be honest. Sønderjysk and Helsingør, I think they were just on another level, as well as Vendsyssel here. There is quite a gap up to them. 9 points up to number 3, right? That's quite a gap. And no matter who is coming down from Superliga, we will try to need to close that gap. It is again time to look back on the top 3 goals scored in the past 14 games. An absolutely massive mistake by Horsens goalkeeper is leading Ingvarsson to score a really nice goal here to get us 3 points. This one is Munk in his debut, scoring a lovely goal. Ingvarsson is running down the line and he is gonna hit a perfect cross into Carl, who scores a pretty good goal here. That is gonna be top for me. Slim pickings in the goal department this time around, but some of them were important goals though. So we are on the squad screen here because I've decided to drop the lineup talk on the tactics screen, as we get that in the season review as well, and instead just go straight to the statistics with a bit extra added here. First is the average rating, of course, as we can see right here. There are 5 players that is kind of a standout to me, whom also played enough, like 10 games or more, for it to be deserved of a mention here. Ingvarsson, who came back in the second part of the season and was absolutely the standout player with 7.22 here. Yeah, that was really good. Also, Lasse Flø throughout the season, really solid performance, very good from the fullback. Ngongo was mainly playing in the first part of the season, but very good as well from him. And Powell as a super sub, absolutely fantastic. I'm very happy with his performance overall as a super sub. And Tadesse as the motor. Should we check? Yeah, the motor in the midfield. Points 1 per game. I don't think it should come as any surprise to us that some of the most defensive-minded players is taking some of these spots. I've highlighted 6 players. Delhander, he didn't really play a lot, but he is in there because he do have more than 10 games. At least that is where I'm putting my, what I want to show. Because I'm not Harbo, he didn't really play, so I don't think we can really do anything there in terms of judging ability. Ulrich is in there as well on 12 subs and 6 appearances, pretty decent. Vetter as well, so the 2 backup central defenders basically. Also Isuna, who was probably the backup defensive midfielder for the most part of the season. Now, more interesting, at least to me, it's gonna be the more, I wouldn't say important players, but they are important players, but more so that they are starting a lot of the games. Tadesse and also Flø on, how much is that? That is 1.74 and 1.71 in points per game. I also decided to add team goals conceded per 90, as it gives a picture of who is also working hard defensively outside the norm. So yeah, that's Munk, Vetter, Moser, Ingvarsson, and Tursik, or Adi Tursik, is that his name? Maybe I should nickname him, but yeah, it's kind of hard to say his name. But anyway, they are kind of standout players to me in terms of, well, in the better end of things. They are trying to avoid the opposition to score goals more often than maybe someone in the bottom here. Snape, I mean, I can't really blame him, but someone like Powell's, right? Someone like NJ and Tadesse, they are down there, 1.27 on Tadesse. So while he did really well in the average rating and also points per game, he's also letting them score quite a bit. So he's more of a high-risk player to play, actually. A couple of other things to talk about before we are getting into the season review is injuries, right? We had a lot of injuries this season. We had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major, and as you can see up here, we did have more than last season as well. If we go into the season summary here, we can get a pretty good picture of who was out for a very long time. Like Ingvarsson was out the entire first part of the season, 3 months. Yeah, Injay was out, Harbo was out, very important player Harbo. We brought him in, he only played 2 games, right? Carl was out a lot. Tadesi was out, Northengale, many of the very important players was out for a very long period of time. So we need to remember that when we are moving on. But of course, we also need to remember in terms of, can we make something better here? Because that is way too many injuries. That is just way too many. Can we do something to change that? Maybe. One last thing to note here is the dynamics. I haven't shown you this page before, but it is one of the hardest part about playing as a director of football. We do not have a lot of control over the team cohesion, to be honest. We are not controlling the games. This is the highest it has been throughout the season, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now, where we did have a really big problem throughout the season was the managerial support. This is right now the highest it has ever been. I think also from last season as well. This got to do, I've noted down all the issues, and I think for the most part, it can be avoided by making sure that we have a smaller squad so everyone get their play time, because I think it got to do with play time, while also not having too many important and star player agreed playing time. That was probably the issue here, because it was only really 1 or 2 players having issues, and then the rest of the group is like, oh, I agree with this player, right? So having influential players having an issue, that we need to do better in the future. Obviously, also the personalities is something we need to be aware of when we sign future players, but I think we actually have a pretty good group in terms of personalities. All right, so that does lead us to the review of the season here. The league overall went quite well, and the board is very happy with where we ended up, as their expectations was actually avoid relegation. Yeah, it actually was that. So yeah, I guess I'm also fairly happy with the improvement upon last season, with 1 point more compared to the last one. So yeah, that's I can't really complain about that too much, I guess. In the cup, we went out to Brøndby. I don't think that's any surprise. They are probably the 2nd or 3rd best in Denmark. So it is what it is. Moments to remember: a 4-0 victory over Hobro. Biggest win, yeah. Pretty good, actually. That's a decent victory. And I think more importantly, this one, match to remember, 3-1 against Sønderjyske, and that happened 3 times in this season. So yeah, I think that's actually, that is what I'm gonna remember this season for. Beating Sønderjyske 3-1 3 times. That's the one. Okay, and also we have a goal of the season. Let's take a look at that one and see if we agree with it. All right, so goal of the season here with Sommer going back to Marcelo into Talar. What do we have here? Tadesi with a long shot. Okay, that is pretty good, yeah. Finances in the annual revenue is, well, it's almost the same, I would say, except from competition going a little bit down and the broadcast going a little bit up. Also, Ingvarsson with most sold shirts. That's kind of interesting. But okay, he's a fairly decent player, and he did really well in the second part of the season. Moser, Tadesi, Harbo only playing 2 games, and Powells as the second striker as well in here. Interesting. And now to the lineup. I do wish that the game would show the roles, or the most used roles as well, but I guess we already have a decent idea of how Lasse Holmgaard wants to play, so here it is. Moser in goal, Flug on the as a right back, Northengale, that is not where he's supposed to be, and Leifson on the left-hand side, not where he's supposed to be either. So that's not true, it's the other way around actually. Randolph on the left-hand side, Talar, Tadesi, Sommer. Yeah, the midfield seems correct. Ngongo, Ingvarsson, and Karl up top. I mean, except from the central defenders here, it seems to be quite about what I would also have set up. So yeah, that's the lineup. Last but not least, the player awards and also the records. I think we're gonna take a look at the record breakers as well this time around. So Lasse Flug, fans player of the season. Yeah, I think that is well deserved. He was probably the standout player to me as well. He's also the young player of the season, interesting enough. So, well, I mean, he's 19, so very, very, very good season by him. And I do believe he actually was in the it doesn't show, but I am fairly sure he was in the team of the year in the league as well. Actually, I know he was. I just forgot to show you, but he was also in the team of the year. Signing of the season, Adi Tasic. Sure. I mean, he was kind of just coming in as a backup, or well, not a backup, but a backup to the main guy. So he was absolutely the important player to get in. I'm not sure if he was the signing of the season, because we also have someone like Powells and Moser, but I guess it's only taking from the winter time. And in that case, yeah, he was the signing of the season. But overall, I would probably more say that Leonard Moser was the signing of the season for me. But fair enough. Goal of the season, Tadesse. Yeah, we already saw that one. Top goal scorer is actually Powells on 7 goals. And that is outlining how poor our strikers were. Because he was a super sub, right? 7 goals from the bench is that's acceptable to me. 100%, that's acceptable. Most assists in Gungo. Okay. 8 from his feet, or whatever, his body, basically. Most player of the match awards, Ingvarsson. And, you know, he didn't play before the second part of the season. So he got 5 player of the matches in the last maybe 14 to 16 games. That's pretty decent. That is pretty good. Highest average rating is Lasse Fleur on 7.2 and Jakob Vetter with the most passes completed per 90. I think he got that last season as well, interesting enough. So most goals by player in a match is Powells, he got 2. Powells also on the most goals in a player in a league. So yeah, I guess he broke both those records from last season. I wish it actually was showing the record that was broken, but yeah. Most clean sheets, Moser, Ingvarsson on the most player of match awards in a season. So hopefully we can remember these things the next time around. Most league apps, Sommer, yeah, 250 now. That's pretty good of him. Youngest player was Monk. Yeah, that's kind of interesting that we did sign a 16-year-old Monk, and he actually did kind of good, didn't he? I think he was fine. I don't think it was a bad signing, actually. Isuna, oldest player, youngest goal scorer is Monk, and oldest goal scorer is Isuna. I don't know how I feel about these records here, because it's not showing what it was actually breaking. So I don't think I'm gonna focus too much on that next time around. But anyway, that is gonna be the end of the season and the end of this episode. I hope you really enjoyed it, and next time around we're going into the summer transfers. We got a lot of decision making to do again. So see you around next time.